I was really surprised to see a series of tweets by a reporter for Axios, Alexi McCammond, who's previously appeared on the Damage Report talking about an interaction that she had with Charles Barkley. Here is what she tweeted. Just FYI, Charles Barkley told me tonight, quote, "I don't hit women, but if I did, I would hit you." And then when I objected to that, he told me, quote, "I couldn't take a joke." So one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up with you is not only because we've had Alexi on, she's a great reporter. It's horrendous for anyone to be making these sorts of jokes, let alone threats. But I also figure that you probably have more knowledge about Charles Barkley and his past than I do.
It's not only Charles Barkley's past, but his present. He says whatever comes.
So
to
he
his
is
mind.
known for just saying stuff.
Yeah, and many times he's this guy who has gotten this label.
Really fast. Yeah. That, by the way, is not intended in any way to diminish what he said. It's just saying what is on your mind does not make what you say any less horrendous or threatening.
The thing is, I guess if it comes to the case of whether or not people believe it or not, this is one of those things where I think his persona, his personality, his character kind of matches up with this. If you don't know it's there, because I guess
you find it easy to believe.
Yeah, okay. and again, I don't know what provable case you can have to say he told her this. I'm not sure if he's even denying it. It seems like he's the type of person that wouldn't even deny it necessarily. Someone asked.
I don't doubt it for 1 second.
Yeah.
So, she went on to say there was almost no times I will break an off-the-record agreement, but this is not okay. And it was all because he came in talking about how he loves Deval Patrick. And once someone from Pete's campaign came around, he said he loved Pete. And I reminded him he previously said he was a Deval fan. So she just pointed out an inconsistency that in real time she noticed. And that, like, let's say from his point of view, if he really thinks that it's acceptable to make a joke about attacking a woman, that you would think that that was justified after she points out that you just said you like one candidate, now you're saying you like another one. I don't understand the thought process of that at all.
Which seems like such a surface, not even criticism, but observation that she had about him. When one guy's around, you say you support him, and then when another guy comes around, you say you support that guy. You kind of flow with whichever way the wind's blowing, which I don't think is that much of an insulting thing to say, but kind of just pointing out. So maybe that could trigger him to think, oh, I can say this what he sees as a flippant thing, what is actually a pretty serious thing to say.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's just quipping back and forth.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Yeah, and I will just say, so when Alexi tweeted this out, many people who have previously worked or interacted with her, as I have, responded with something to the effect of, I'm sorry you went through that, that's horrible, I can't even imagine that, something like that. So I tweeted something like that. And someone responded to me by finding a tweet of hers from 8 years ago that they thought made her look bad or something, and then just replied with that tweet. And I can't get into the brain of the person who replied that, but the idea that if a woman is threatened by a man, that she doesn't get to talk about that or feel threatened if she has ever said anything that you have a problem with is a very bizarre reaction to what was going on. And Charles Barkley is a full-grown man. He's more than a full-grown man at this point. He knows that this is 100% unacceptable. He wasn't just like unfrozen from the 60s or something, not that that would justify it, but this should be a very simple case of, you obviously don't say something like this to a female reporter. She is right to feel threatened by it. And someone trying to do some sort of weird dodge by having an issue with her past comments is really bizarre. And that says a lot more about the person doing the tweeting than about her.
I assume the tweet that the person linked you to must have had her saying something like, "I'm willing to hit anyone for disagreeing with me," something.
Well, specifically it said, "I want to punch Charles Barkley." No, it had nothing to do with any of this. Yeah, so really bizarre. Anyway, Alexi's a good reporter. She should, by the way, she should not feel in any way bad about breaking an off-the-record agreement with Charles Barkley if he's saying stuff like this. This is not something that's protected under that sort of confidentiality. Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.